one of the scenes that I found hits me the hardest, and I realized that when I was watching your reaction, it seemed to have hit you the hardest as well. Is the conversation between Clark and Jonathan,
Yeah.
Mm.
where Clark doesn't where Clark is learning that he's from another planet, and he drops that line where he says, "Can I just pretend to keep being your son?"
See, you are my son.
Every single, and I've probably seen that movie 15, 20 times at least now. But every time I watch that movie, bro, that line brings tears to my eyes.
Hmm.
And to
Yeah.
see
All of
you
us.
have that exact same emotional reaction, it reaffirmed everything I believe about this movie and why it is so dear to our hearts.
Right.
Um, that scene there, what, and I, because I know what it is for me, but what was it for you? What were you able to relate to that made you react the way you did when you
Yeah.
saw that for the first time?
No, I talked about it a little bit. You know, I come from a family of divorce and stuff like that. And my dad wasn't the nicest guy. So I got daddy issues myself. So I think it was just that kind of tapped in. But it was also on the flip of the coin. You know, the young Clark is very unsure of himself, where he's very just confused at what's happening, and he doesn't want all this power, this responsibility, right? Can I just turn it off? Can I just be your son? And you know, he assures him that you are my son, even though you have a different dad. You know, you have different parents. You are still our, you know, our child. You know, and I just liked that everything combined, and with the score and everything came together perfectly, and that's what I felt like once again, as the movie progressed, I was like, this is nothing like what I just watched in theaters a week
Mhm.
ago. Like, this has no heart whatsoever. And going back to the Supergirl, I know you haven't got to that part because still at the end, where they introduce Supergirl. I don't know if you've seen the clip.
Oh,
She
we
comes
know.
in and she comes in and she's like, "Where's my dog, bitch? Bitch!" She keeps calling Superman bitch. I'm like, what the fuck? This is how you're going to introduce a Supergirl? I know she doesn't act like this, but okay. I guess the
Well, in the
modern audiences want it.
in the comic that they are taking the movie from, she does act like that at the beginning. But I mean,
Then
the
I'm completely
purpose of
wrong. Then yeah,
the purpose of the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie, it's a moment of growth for Supergirl. I haven't read the whole comic book.
yeah.
I know glimpse of it. So it's basically it's a story where it's a becoming of her. You know what I mean? So she's in that like maturity phase. So
Yeah.
it's just the way that
I
they told that story, being a drunk and partying and whatever. Like again, like we're different generation, different types of how to get the point across and how experiences go. So it is
but
what it is.
instead of taking things more seriously for serious subject nature, I felt like Gunn's going the route of just being his gunny self, where this is what he's known for. He's going to continue to run with it because he's expected to. Even though he has this new position at DC, he is expected to do this shit, and he's gonna. I mean, I know he comes from trauma. I understand his crazy background. He was canceled, you know, at one time from Disney and yada yada. Okay, I get it. You're very. Uh, I don't think this is what a lot of the fans want. I mean, maybe some newer generations want to see this
That's
side
exactly
of
who this film is for, from what I
yeah,
understand. I don't need to see this film to know that it is this generation is not looking to aspire to something that is different than them. They are looking for something that is adjacent to them. Ooh, this Superman has all of my problems too. Well, that really isn't Superman. Superman is not like us. That's the whole point. And that's why I like Man of Steel is Man of Steel was a film about responsibility. That was Jonathan Kent's film. That was Jonathan Kent through and through. That was the point of the film. It was about teaching him responsibility and teaching him, no, you are not like us. But then again, you have a choice to be whatever you want to be. You want to be a god and rule over everybody and cause total destruction? Or do you want to use that stuff to help people out? That's your choice. I can't make that choice for you. You know, he was basically saying, yeah, at some point you will have to pull your big boy pants up and say, what do I want to be? And that's what I loved about this film. And that's what this generation hates. They want to be coddled. They want to be, you know what I mean? They want that
Spoon fed.
they want to be spoon fed everything, and they want the just blurt out emotions and all stuff. That's not Superman.
Mhm.
It's just not him.
And
So
speaking of Jonathan Kent, The other section of your reaction video Flix that I think resonates with our fandom so much is the Jonathan Kent death scene because you seem to
Mm.
understand the meaning behind that. You got it on your first watch, and for some reason, DC fans seem to be very split on that. A lot of people say it's not in Superman's character to allow his dad to make the sacrifice that he did. Everybody likes to criticize every little aspect of that particular scene, but you got it in your first watch. And that's, again, another reason why I thought it was so important to have you here. Because what did you say when you saw that? You said,
No, yeah,
you,
I knew that because he wanted it to be kept a secret. He even said it earlier in the movie. He goes, you know what? When the pod crashed to Earth, we expected FBI agents to come, and they never came.
Mhm.
So they just continued life. Yet he still had his head on a swivel. Looking, I would. I mean, wouldn't anybody? If you were harboring this alien from another planet, like you would expect someone at some point in their life, like I'm not talking about just Lois Lane, but like someone coming knocking on your door saying, "We need to look at that pod" or
We need to
something. You
look
know
at
what I
that
mean?
pod, and they
So
taking it away. Exactly. And he also
exactly,
said
he
that
held on
when
to that.
yeah, he also said when he was when Clark was a little bit older and they were in the right before the tornado scene, they were in the car and they were arguing. He was like, "Look, you're not my dad." He's like, okay, yeah, I'm not your dad. We're not your parents. But we've been making this up as we go along.
Yeah,
What parent in reality would not say those exact same lines?
yeah.
exactly.
Oh, we've been making this up. What do you expect? We've been doing the best that we can with what we got.
Yeah,
That's
And
it.
to take it a
All I
step
can tell
further,
you is all I can tell you to do is how to be a man. The same way I would teach any other earthling child how to be a man, except now that you have these powers, I'm going to tell you like any other man. You still have a responsibility to be either a good man or a bad man, whether you have powers or not. That's the point. That was the point of the film.
and to take it a step further, Charles, what parent wouldn't make that same sacrifice for their child that Jonathan made? And
Exactly.
that's the one thing that Flix understood as soon as he saw it. He said he's protecting his son. He made this sacrifice for his son. And that seems to just for some reason, and I think it's intentional, it goes over a lot of the real DC fans' heads about
Exactly.
why that happened.
Zack Snyder was going for the reality in real life of how people would really act. That's all. He was holding a mirror to how people react. Think about it. Flix Talk, you going outside of your car one day and you getting ready to go handle your business somewhere, and you see some dude just, it doesn't have to be Superman, this much just he's floating. He's just floating. And he just and takes off. What you think about that, sir?
I'd be questioning everything that everything.
Exactly. That's the point. That was
Yeah.
exactly the point.
Yeah.
What
I
would
want
you
to
expect to do?
I want to say something. I know I said this to you backstage, Flix, but I want to say this in public. I want to apologize on behalf of the DC fans and the Snyder community. I want to extend an apology to you because I know you got hit hard just because your authentic reaction to an old movie. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, you got, like I said, you got dragged into a culture war that
That's been
you
going
know
on since Man of Steel, brother.
Mhm.
That long,
it's
that long
it's
they have
the
been
rabbit
jumping
hole.
on this
The
film,
rabbit hole goes
That
very fucking deep.
they've
To,
been
to
dunking
quote the
on Man of
Matrix.
Steel for a minute, bro.
Twitter was brutal, bro. Someone shared me, and thank you for that, by the way. Someone shared a highlight reel. Someone did like my best like moments, I guess, of the reaction. And they someone that got the original poster didn't even tag me on Twitter. Someone that follows me on YouTube tagged me. So I was like, okay, cool. And it was like a little 3-minute highlight reel of all the best scenes. And then that's where all the Snyder love came. And I was like, oh, this is dope.
I think that
And
was Self Cali guy. I'm going to give him a shout out because he's the one who usually in our friend circle clips those videos, and I'm almost positive it was Self Cali guy that did that for you. So shout out to Self
Okay.
Cali guy.
Yep.
yeah, shouts out to all the love. And then I started seeing people saying this guy is faking it. He's seen this before. He's faking the tears, and I'm like, what? Like, is this really like I said, guys? I just turned 40 this year. If I was 20 years old, if I was a youngster, I would let the comments get to me. Now I don't care so much. Like I don't really even respond to them because most of the time, some of my supporters will go up and they'll start handling the comments for me. Like I don't even got to respond. And same with you guys. I mean, I'm sure if you know,
Yeah, we have
they'll ride for you. Yeah, they will ride for you. So, but if I was any younger, I'm telling you, man, I'd be so reactionary. And that's how I know that people they're just saying shit to say shit, or their fandom goes deep. And like you said, Charles, for a movie since 2013, they're still going at it. That means that Man of Steel did something right.
Yes.
Did you
100%.
okay? Before we wrap this topic and move on to the next one, I am gonna finish watching Superman. I know already how it ends, but like I will finish watching it. But overall, my reaction to it, it's cheap. It's so cheap. Like I'm seeing Guy Gardner flying the way they're doing it. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like, and you can tell. Okay, not to shade on Phil's weight, but dude, come on. If you're gonna be a superhero, look the part. He did not look the part. Even though, like, okay, you're not gonna be fighting, so at least pull some weights, at least, dude. Come on, like, look the part at least.
Who is that? Which character are you talking about?
Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion,
Nathan Fillion.
They went for.
Is he supposed to be bigger?
They went for comic accuracy again with the way he was and all that. Yeah, James Gunn made a comic book film. They were looking for a comic book film. James Gunn made a comic book,
and they got a comic book film.